Yo, what's up, guys? First siege of the year. Let's go. Well, is it the first siege of the year? No, it's actually the second siege of the year. First siege video of the year, though. Playing against Limitless and Synergy, and I'm just loving this team. It does so freaking much damage. So, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're just gonna get into these matches quick. A different kind of Leo May team that we haven't really seen as much before, I guess. But then again, my Shiner Martina is still on a heavy damage set, but this is tricky though. This is hella freaking tricky. That hurts. Stop hurting me. Yeah, sometimes Shiner Martina is not the best way to go, it seems. Actually, his Leo May was pretty tanky. Still did decent damage for how tanky it was. But in this case, we actually wanted to strip more buffs. We did a lot of damage on that Vigor. We had more issue killing that Leo May than that Vigor. But that's the thing about Leo May. You can go for additional damage stuff and still do a lot of damage while being tanky. Then this was one of those fights. The moment I went in, I'm like, wait a minute. I think I should not use a full CC team against a Nomiyuki. This is actually one of my teams it hasn't lost any fight so far until this one. Also, the NFL is 100 res, so I was kind of sad to see that it didn't land or that he landed armor break. Otherwise, would have been quite a bit easier. But the thing is, yeah, you can't really sleep the bullshit right now. We do get shields, so the shields kind of give me some sustain, some potential, some possibilities. But that thing on the right still hurts. It does freaking hurt. We're kind of good to go. I was like, okay, should I actually use S3? I think I will use S3 because if you then use S2 on the right side, at least it doesn't go for that unit. Well, in this case, it did do, but it didn't do too much. So we're still kind of Gucci-ish. It is still kind of a hard take on like how are we actually going to kill anything right now, especially if it's just for a few procs and stuff like that. And that's a one, and that's a two. Your armor broke it again. That's just the bad part. So yeah, that thing had some good outs of armor breaking. Should you use this team against that what's in front of me? Absolutely fucking not. That's definitely out of the question. So yeah, could I have won this? I'm not sure. I'm actually not really sure. I don't think so. Like, Onyuki is too good against this. So this is definitely why you don't want to bring this team. That's a for sure. Because that Onyuki thing hits a lot. Especially if it goes multiple times. More often. It hurts. Actually, he didn't do all too much damage. It was just that he got some good armor breaks like throughout. So that helped him a lot. But then again, don't use that team against that. Use something like this. And something like this means, well, actually, as one from Gianna can potentially stun, which it did in this case. But if we drop the bomb, we just need to be the best daughter in game, which it was in this case. And then we're pretty much good to go because it does die from dots. As you can see over here. Made it a lot easier. Should have done that in the first place. But yeah, that's sometimes in Siege, right? You go into one match and you're like, wait, I should have used something else. Maybe I was rushing too much. But that's the annoying part about Siege. Like, if you're rushing too much because you have these small windows to hit things, it just gets annoying. So my good old Poseidon team and Galleon. Galleon is such a nice idiot. Fuck. Galleon. Okay, Poseidon being a nice idiot as well. Good thing it's somewhat tanky. Somewhat tanky to survive that hit-ish. So can we still win this shit? Well, if we do a sweeping wave, and we actually land a silence, then we can still do an S2 over here, and we still win. I have no clue how this team works sometimes. I have no clue how this team not works sometimes, but I also have no clue how this team works. Geldner Ophelia, something we see more often these days, but why the fuck would you run it without a single will? Like, legit, what? Okay, fair, I don't care. Sure. We go in for some Beast Rider BS. Let's do a lot of damage. Decent amount of damage. Sienna's still like one buff away from being really good. Currently, she's kind of usable, but to be honest, a Savannah could have done pretty much the same in this setup, except that she gives speed buff that you don't really want to get killed here. But she could have done pretty much. And in most cases, even better. So then my good old Llama team. Rock on defense is currently pretty good as well. I kind of like this team as a defense, but I would actually say I would like Kraka on a way faster build. You need good despair sets to make this team work. But if you had Kraka on like a super fast despair set, 100 crit rate, could do some heavy damage. In this case, he was mediocre slow on this team, so would not really recommend that. And then we clear the shit. Dominic, still too much damage. Curious to see what will happen to balance patch. Because we have a balance patch probably coming end of January, at least that's what people expect. I'm not too sure if it's going to be more siege focused or more RTA focused. I guess the previous one was more RTA focused and very minimum siege focused. So we might see something more siege focused this time. So I'm actually curious to see. This is one of those teams and actually one of those units. Kiki is by far strongest siege defense unit in the game right now. And there's not too many counters on this unit actually. So I'm actually curious to see, would they nerf that unit? Would you let me know in the comments what you think about Kiki and siege defense? Because I feel like it's one of those units that's just it's insanely good. But this is actually one of the most insane counters against Kikis, I would say. We have been using it for quite a bit already. And the main thing you want to do is you want to go back and forth between Amelia, like her S2 and her S3 and that kind of, or like cycling and that kind of shit. The only thing I was kind of surprised about is that Leo may cut here because I actually have attack bar from Revive, kind of bullshit, but apparently there were too many turns in between where she already was at 100, so and this Belial is somewhat like plus 50 speed, so it's slow as fuck. So it does take a good amount of time for to jiggle some procs, go a little bit back and forth. And in this case, we have the same issue again. Like both units are 100% attack bar, so if I didn't have those extra, it wouldn't have helped. Is that 90k slightly over damaging? Maybe. It's like if people are wondering what kind of set it is, it's just my Lucian set. You just put your Lucian. No, it's actually my normal Belial set, which has like rage energy for some whatever reason. Like energy is. In this case, there's no Molly on the enemy side. Also, you don't really care about Molly because Belial actually ignores glancing. So, but yeah, doing 90k is somewhat overdone. But yeah, you can see the difference. It does like only 10k for an S1 and then 20k at 0 HP for an S2. Which is quite a bit more, quite a bit more. But yeah, Kiki, super strong defense units. I would say like pretty much the only defense unit that can consistently take a lot of wins these days. So all of the other shit is kind of mediocre-ish. So I'm curious to see if they would nerf that or are they like still okay with that. But also they would have to give some more options to do other defenses, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? Really, it kind of feels like an heavy LD fest because Dominic's used to be good, but they're kind of figured out. Nora's are okay-ish, but they're kind of figured out. So, it would be cool to see another net 5 to have some potential. And that Dominic did. Did we just do casually 8Ks per hit on armor break, armor buff? Feng does so much damage on defense buff. It's literally insane. That unit does so much. And I guess my Alaya is super freaking tanky. I used to run this with Riley, but of course with Alaya it's just way better because defense buff. Like in the end, the main damage dealer is of course the Feng Yang, and it is not the Leo. So in this case, having an Alaya is a lot better. You don't get the defense lead as extra, but also having it that Dominic focus heavily on the Alaya, which has reduction from wind, of course. And then the last fight, a typical team I like to use, and I think everyone probably has, but is not using enough, is this one. And funny enough, he had 0 wills. I kind of expected no will on Nigong, and that was my bet to go for. Most of the Rileys these days are revenge, so they're also not will. Mars in a lot of cases is also not will, so I kind of predicted a lot of non-willers on this team, which in this case I predicted correct. Even if the Theomars had will, it didn't care. It was the main thing that Nigong shouldn't have will and Riley shouldn't have will. But Nigong is like 90% of the time non-will. And even if it had will, it wouldn't be that much of an issue. I would have started with resetting the Riley in that case. So, yeah, this team full will, don't really expect it. Even if it was, I think I would still be able to win it, which would just be a lot more tricky. And yeah, we just TOA hard this team. And this is one of those teams you should definitely check out to get into your like standard box of whatever you use, because it's just very good. So yeah, that was the siege already. 9 out of 10. Made one mistake. Pretty big mistake. Let's see how that goes next time. Guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and have a lovely day. See you in the next one.